Hello, welcome back to Crimson Glass on YouTube. And I would have to go back and look, but it has probably been a good year, probably longer, since I did a video publicly on the channel. Usually, I think it's just live streams for the Patreons. And I'm doing this because it's the beginning of summer. It's been a while since I've checked in just in general, and I think I'm overdue to check in with the Patreons anyway on a Crimson Check update post. So I figured, let's just get it all done. And I'm up, I'm awake on a Thursday. I'm dressed and I have makeup on, and that's not going to happen a lot in the summer because I can't be bothered when I don't have to go to work. Because, why would anybody? So it's been a very long time since I did a status video update. I used to do these monthly. I don't really have a need to anymore. Because not much changes writing wise. It usually does change just during the week. I mean, just during the season, really. So I guess doing it once every season is fine. I usually do these in 3 parts. I do a little bit of IRL, like what's going on in my real life, not because people particularly care, but because it affects the, writing and schedule. And I think it's just nice that you guys, it's just nice to let you guys know like what my time looks like, especially now that I'm done with the school year, sort of. So there's that. And then I have, and then I talk about writing just in general, like what does the writing energy look like? And then I get into specifics on projects. So I'm just re-adding banners because it's been so long that I actually don't even have any of the stuff on here anymore. So let's talk about IRL. So does that work? Yes. So IRL. So what's going on in the real life? School's over. School ended June 13th, which is a week ago today. Yay. I, however, am not done with my professional career just yet. I'm doing curriculum for French 2, which means I am writing and creating the program I'm going to teach next year. And if you have been following me at all, you know that I do that anyway, but generally it's been free. And I spend half my life during the school year plotting out what I'm supposed to be teaching because I don't have the time in the summer. And also I switched districts. So I didn't know what I was going to be teaching at all this year until a week before the school year started. So I spent the entire year furiously laying down the railroad tracks before the train came. I was just always just one step ahead of myself. So the whole point of doing curriculum and getting paid for it, by the way, is so that I have more space, just for teaching in the school year instead of just constantly thinking about, okay, what standards, what are the activities, how are the activities, what resources, it just takes so much mental energy and just so much time in general that, it'll be nice to have the bulk of it done before I get there. And I'm already kind of about 10 hours into it. And I've already finished my lesson plans for the entire first month of school. And then later this week, I'm going to work on making the content. So at least the first month of school will be done. And that's always the hardest part. Because if anybody's a teacher, if anybody has one of those jobs where you change between energy levels, and it's just you going from a couple hours a day to full on 6 hours, 7 classes, it can be a whole lot. So it's kind of nice that I'm going to be not worrying. I'll be able to put all my energy into just getting back into the 9-period schedule. I'm also teaching summer school, but which is nice because it lets me keep my hand in a little bit, so I'm not completely out of practice talking to children. I'm teaching just 3 kids in 1 to 2 hour sessions that are about 3 to 4 times a week. So it's actually not even that bad. I'm already done for the week. And I'm already done for the day. That's one of the reasons why I have the makeup and I'm dressed. So I can do more stuff because, I can run errands a little bit more easily because I'm already awake. And I'm trying out some new French 1 stuff on them. And it's just 3 kids. So, it's kind of nice to keep my hand in, and it's extra money. So I'm getting paid $40 an hour for that and $33 an hour for curriculum. So that's really, really very helpful. Because, I don't get a paycheck. There's 4 paychecks in the summer I don't get. And this will make up about 1 paycheck. So that kind of helps. And I've got some more savings. And thanks to Patreons, which I basically lets me get through the summer. I used to work a second job tutoring at night, which meant I just really never had time or energy to write. So now I don't have to do that. So that's IRL. That's kind of the professional life. The other big thing I've been battling, and I've been talking about it off and on for a couple of months, really, is I have an elbow issue. Actually, I have an elbow issue on both elbows, but it's worse on my left hand because I'm dominant. I don't know if you guys can't really tell from the way the setup is. I don't know if so my desk is really high for somebody with a short torso. So my elbows don't rest. They rest kind of like this. And so I'm putting a lot of weight on this muscle. And when I was writing so much in April, I really, really aggravated it. And I've been trying to treat it, and it's mostly okay, but like there are still some days that are worse than others. So while I'm still working on it, you know, it's kind of still a nagging issue. I have lots of nagging issues. So that's the IRL update. Nothing big there. For the most part, we're okay. You know, school year is over, which is nice. I get to sleep in a little bit more and not have to rush to work. You know, I'm not as tired when I get home. I have more time. So all that's good. So let's talk about how all that's working with the writing. In general, for the most part, I've really just been working on flash fiction. And that's for two reasons. One, I am writing curriculum, and I have to do 50 hours of curriculum by June 30th. And I just started on June. So it's like 50 hours over 2 weeks, which means it's 3 to 4 hours a day. And I don't know if anybody's ever written anything like curriculum. I could probably share like what my unit plan looks like if anybody cared. But it's a lot of work. Like I am taking my units, I am breaking them down into activities, I am reorganizing the activities, I am writing out the lesson plans, I am making a list of like it's just I'm really tired by the time I get done with it. And then I'm also taking the online class for my French certification. And like it is Thursday. I have barely touched this week's work, and you'll notice that I'm still not touching this week's work. I'm going to work on that later today, after I finish my curriculum for the day, because I got done summer school. So like those are two big things that have been draining a lot of energy. And I just realized I had two choices for what I could do with the rest of my time. For writing, I could either choose to work on the small hours, which is the beta draft, which I'm getting back into it. Like it's in a good shape. It's just I'm not doing as much with it right now because of the curriculum and summer school and all that online stuff. But I decided to go with publishing more flash because that's more output and that's something you guys can read. And I figure you guys, if I'm going to be writing, you would probably rather read something that I am able to give to you in a timely fashion, because these small hours, we're talking August and September, we're still talking 3 weeks out. So I don't like to disappear on you guys. I like to kind of fresh. Now, do I have to update that every day? No, I just want to. Like, I really like the story I'm writing right now. Like, honestly, if I could put off doing chain reaction for another week, I absolutely would. I would just keep writing the story, which we'll talk about when I get to individual stuff. So just in general, I am not writing as much as I would like, but I am still writing every day, which is good because curriculum will be done June 30th. So July, I'll have that 3 extra hours and I'll have that. And then summer school, I'll be prepped. And like, that's not all that much time. It's like, I will have extra time and I'll have the mental energy to write, and I will have like kept myself sharp for that, if that makes sense. So that's where I am on just general writing. I am not writing as much as I would like, but I have to pay the bills, guys. You know, I live alone. Someone's got to feed the cat. You know, Sasha, she eats pretty bougie. I don't know if I tell you this. She only eats Fancy Feast. And very specifically, she only eats the white meat chicken collection with the savory broth. Like, she is but she's also 15, so I'm going to let her do what she wants. Like, I am really not going to argue with her on that. So, all right. So I'm going to learn about 8 minutes in, and I'm ready to talk specifically about stories. So I'll head over here. That should have an S on it. I will fix that later. See, it's been a very long time since I did any of this. So let's talk about flash fiction first, since that is what I have been working on the most. All right. So can scroll across the bottom now. Okay, I'll just leave it like this. All right. So flash fiction, I'm working on 2 stories right now: Warning Shots and Chain Reaction. Neither one of them do I have any idea how long they're going to be. Listen, I can explain. Okay, I promise. Okay, so Warning Shots was not the plan. It was not a plan. I had already launched Chain Reaction because it was a story idea that was voted on by the Patreons back in February. And I had a plan for that too. But, you know, you start writing and then things just start happening. And you just, what are you going to do? And then right after, I think maybe a week after I did Chain Reaction, reader Lila, she gave me she wishes she could read a story where Lucky didn't die. And like how, you know, kind of like where would that story have gone? And like, you know me, you don't really have to do much to distract me. So I ran with it. I ran. I ran straight into it, and now we're 20 parts in, and it's like so much fun because like it's really fun to play with a version of Elizabeth that isn't dealing with the brainwashing and the death. Like it's an amazing how much guilt she doesn't carry around because Lucky didn't die and he's not a miracle coming back to her. Like it's just so much more fun to play with the dynamic, and also fun to play with a Jason that doesn't. There's no Sonny and Carly hate sex because like Jason and Carly are just in a different situation. So it's just interesting to play with those. I'm just having a lot of fun with it, and then it keeps going completely off the rails. Like it was going to be a little short episodic where I was just going to break up Lucky and Liz and kind of dabble in the liaison just to see that it could happen. And then once I got started, I mentioned Spring Break, and well, then of course I had to write Spring Break. And if you haven't read it yet, you should go read it because none of that was in the original outline. And then, there's something that happens at the end of last night's update, and that wasn't supposed to happen until part 26, and it was part 19. So, I don't know. Actually, I'm going to spend a little time. I have to reset because I have to write that later tonight, and I don't know what they're going to do yet. I should figure that out at some point. So that's kind of warning shots. It's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't know exactly where to end it because I'm just having fun with it. I don't want to end it. Like it could be that story where every once in a while I just like update it and like here's where they are today. Like I don't know. It's a lot of fun to write because I'm not dealing with the miracle of fucking brainwashing Lucky. I apologize. I hate Lucky so much. But we are taking a break from it on Friday, and then I'm going to not do any updates on the weekend. I promise you I'm not updating on the weekend. I know I say that a lot. I'm going back into Chain Reaction. And the reason why I took a break from it was just so we could build some momentum with one story. And then also because there is a plot point with Chain Reaction that I want to do, but I can't quite figure out how to do it. So I've been like holding off on it because I don't know if you guys noticed, when I do flash fiction, I don't pants it. I do outline and sketch it out so that when I sit down to write, the reason why I can write like 3,000 words in 60 to 70 minutes is because I have sketched it out like beat by beat by beat. I just have to write it. And I'm having trouble navigating the plot that the twist, the event. And I know I can do it. I just can't figure out how, and I don't want to be figuring it out when I'm writing it. So that is flash fiction. So I think there's actually not that much else other than that. I think there's These Small Hours, which is the current project that's in progress. All right, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm adding these banners as we go because it's been so long. So These Small Hours is in beta draft. I have finished Act 1. If you are a Crimson Stalker, the Act 1 is now available. That's chapters 1 through 10. And almost like I would say about 95% of it is brand new. I went and I rewrote most of the act. I added a bunch of stuff before the original chapter 1 because it's kind of like once you get to the end of a story, you know your world better, you know your characters better, and so you go back and you flesh out things that you do a better job of setting up everything that you end up doing. And then I remember saying when I finished Act 1 and I delivered chapter 10, I was like, it's gonna go much faster now. And then like of course chapter 11 and Act 2 is like a brand new chapter, and it starts with a Lucky and Sam scene, and I haven't wanted to write that all week, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not. I don't want to write it. I'm gonna write it though. I'm going to probably not today, and I'm probably not tomorrow because tomorrow I have a vet appointment for the cat. She her nails grow really fast, and I can never keep up clipping them, and she was scratching herself, and she cut herself like right down her thing. And normally when she cuts herself, it's just little tiny nicks up here, and I usually kind of keep. But this one got an abscess, and like poor baby, I have to go take her. I have to take her to get it drained and fixed, and because she's 15, I have to take care of it. But like, and just like I wouldn't want to write it either. And then like it's terrible because like this is not like Lucky and Sam aren't going to be in the story. Like this is it. Like I am writing their exit story now, so like I just don't want to write it because I just right now I really hate Sam because the soap Twitter is like big Sam fans, and I'm just like, why? What about Sam makes you like her? She's a desperate, dumb gold digger who got her meal ticket in 2012. And the only reason she's had growth is because she no longer wonders where her next meal is coming from because the credit cards are never. Anyway, Sam hasn't shown growth. She just has, Jason's balls in a jar and his bank accounts on lock. So like, I don't know what to tell you guys. She's a gold digger who struck gold and doesn't have to do anything now. That's why you like her now. Anyway. I am writing their exit. So I just have to sit down and do it. And I'm probably going to do that on Saturday or Sunday because it's supposed to be really, 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 really hot. Normally, I don't leave my air conditioning run during these because the sound messes with my mic, but it's like 95 degrees out. Like, I don't know what it is, actually. And I'm a ginger, I explode in the sun. Like, what is it? Like, right now, what is it? It's upsetting. Okay, it's only 83. That's not what it feels like. It's not what it feels like. I'm telling you that right now. And it's going to be 97 and 96 on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not leaving the house. I'm not going down to watch the Phillies game with my dad. He can watch it on his own. They always lose when I go down there anyway. So I will be writing hours over the weekend because we are overdue. So there's that. All right. The other project that probably people are interested in what's going on with it, Fool Me Twice. I had originally anticipated doing the beta and the alpha draft. So the beta draft of the second draft of These Small Hours, and I was going to be working on the first draft of book 3 at the same time. I live a very rich fantasy life. Like, I'm always like planning out all of these things I want to do and like acting as if I don't have to sleep and I don't have to work and that I don't have to cook. Like, I always, as if I can go from 8 to 8 doing nothing but writing. And that would be a great life. But like, you know, nobody's paying me to do that. So I have to do other things like my job. So I had to scale that back. And so I'm actually now going to wait to do the first draft of Fool Me Twice, book 3, when I finish the second draft of These Small Hours. So I don't know exactly when those dates are going to be. I'd hope to be further along, but the arm elbow situation and I are just not having, like, we're just, everything I try to do to kind of bump it up, it's just not working. I have to get a better chair, and these, like, everything I should do costs money. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm a single teacher. Like, there's just not money out there. There just isn't. So what I'm doing instead now is just making sure I'm breaking it down. Like, Fool Me Twice is a really complicated story, and it's really intricately plotted. Like, there are things that happen. Sorry, there's like something on my keyboard that's bothering me. There are things that happen that don't feel connected, and then you don't realize that they're connected till like maybe the next book. And like, that's how a soap opera is supposed to feel. It's supposed to reward you for reading everything. Because I know I got some of you out there that like to skip everything but the Jason and Elizabeth parts. Don't look away. You know who you are. You know who you are. And what I'm doing is I'm punishing you for it. I'm going to sneak in stuff that matters to their story. Other stuff. You're going to have to read a Maxie and Nathan scene. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to, because it's going to relate to them later. I'm just telling you that now. So I'm just like plotting it out so that I know how it connects and I can make sure I do everything I want with it. Let's see. I think that's kind of it. Let's see. If there's any other projects on the horizon, I don't think so. I had planned on doing more this summer, but then like I got realistic again. And I know Ange is probably thinking, you know, you always overplan. And we know this. We know this. We know I always overplan. And I bet you if she went back and looked at our DMs, she would find like 16 times where I said, I just have to be more realistic. This time I'm learning. I'm setting realistic goals. Like, I think I have said that once a season for the last 4 or 5 years. 40, I really have to start learning that lesson at some point where, no, I probably can't do, like, I think I keep measuring myself by the fact that I wrote 4 novels in 2020 and then 3 flash fictions, and I was still working full time. And that was the pandemic. Like, I can't be measured the rest of my life by the pandemic output. I just can't. I got to let go of that dream. I'm just not as young as I used to be. I don't have as much. It's not going to happen. Other things that are on the horizon, Desperate Measures is getting a rewrite. It was the flash fiction you guys, the Patreons, picked for me to edit next. So that one's going to be really fun to revisit because, like, that was a wild, dumb story that I wrote in 20-minute segments, which did not really suit where the kind of all the places that story could go. After Warning Shots and after Chain Reaction, after one of them is done, we're to finish the other. And then the next thing up is Smoke and Mirrors, which is the AU supernatural, you know, Elizabeth, Robin, and Nadine, like, witch story that I was working on, like, feels like for 8 years. Like, I really remember going to like student teaching back in 2017. No, 2017, the fall. I remember sitting in the back of my practicum, like jotting down notes when I was supposed to be paying attention to my co-op teacher. Who I am really my own. I am my students. That's probably why I'm so nice to them about not paying attention, because like I can't be bothered either. So that's next up for flash fiction. Like, I already have that picked out. I already know what I'm doing with that one. And then after Fool Me Twice, if we ever get to Fool Me Twice book 3 being done, I don't remember. I think I can't remember what was supposed to be up. I think I was going to go into Broken Girl book 2 because it's been like 5 years since I wrote book 1. It's probably time to do that. That's all the things that I can think of that I need to talk about. So if there's anybody, because I actually have people watching, which is new. Usually I just talk to the camera and like maybe 3 people watch it later. Thank you. Hi. If anybody has any questions about like a project I mentioned, and oh, yes, I See, I remember now. I remember. It's the see. This is why you come. I used to come up with scripts for these, and then they would be like 45 minutes. It's a problem. Crimson Swift. I am working on the Tortured Poets. I am working on the Black Dog collection. I have finished one story. It's on my Patreon Stalker collection. Thank you, Amy. It's not quite where I want it, but like it has the bare bones and like it has like the beat, so I can go back and fix it later. It's what I wrote instead of doing the Lucky and Sam scene for these small hours last week because like I was like I have to write something, but I don't want to write that. I was working on the featured story for that collection, the Black Dog, and I got a decent amount into it, and I like what I wrote. It's like it's not the problem, but like it started to feel disconnected from the themes of the song, and I just didn't quite. It wasn't right anymore. So I'm reworking that. So like still keeping the original plot idea that I had like given you guys. And then trying to figure out how I can still like I've got it and I'm almost done plotting it. It's just, you know, time is nice. I'm not good at that. So, but that is still coming. I'm hopeful to have. So the Black Dog is the long feature collection, and there's a second story that's semi-longish, but like not super long, and the rest are like one shots. I just have to sit down and write them, so they're all like one series. So like we're gonna have a week where I just write them, and I'm just gonna hit it, and it's probably gonna happen in sometime in July or August. So I imagine that's gonna be out sometime by the end before we get to fall. So fingers crossed. All right, but that is everything. Thank you very much for joining this impromptu status update. It's been a while since we've done these. You know. I try to do live streams over on the Patreons, but I'm never really very good at coming through on my plan. But I do post Flash Fiction a lot, guys. I do. I post those a lot. And there's not that many Jason Elizabeth writers left. So be nice about it, right? No, I'm kidding. I wish there were more of us. We really used to have the best writers out there. Now I'm I feel like I'm rereading the same Leah B story for like the 6th time. Although I know somebody who's writing one. And if you're watching, it's going to be really good as soon as it's finished. So, all right. I will see you guys later. I have to go write curriculum. Have a great rest of your day.